This is a quiz review for comparing and scaling. Investigation 3. I'm going to go through 6 problems with you. Let's look at the first one here. We read carefully on the first problem. It says Jake can pedal 8 miles on his bike in 44 minutes. And we want to figure out what is the unit rate in minutes per mile for his speed. So we want to figure out, like, that means per one, or what is his speed, how many minutes can he pedal, how long does it take him to pedal 1 mile. So there's different ways to do this. You can do it with the ratio table, minutes per mile. And since minutes came first, I put it in the numerator. And then the second, we'll do this 2 ways. Then we'll use a ratio proportion. So from the reading, I know it takes Jake 44 minutes to go 8 miles. So ratio tables you can simplify down, and the goal is to get per 1 mile. I can divide by 4, and I get 11 minutes. In 11 minutes, Jake can go 2 miles. But I want to know how long it takes him to do 1 mile, so I'm going to divide by 2. And when I divide 11 by 2, I get 5.5. So I find out that his rate is 5.5 minutes per mile. It's pretty fast. Okay, so another method could be to just use ratio proportion. I still like to put my units to the side. And I'm going to just set up a ratio proportion. And I know that it takes Jake 44 minutes to do 8 miles. And I want to figure out how long it takes him to do 1 mile, so I'm going to assign a variable there. I still recommend reducing because it makes my work easier. So I'm going to divide by 4, and I get 11 and 2 in my reduced proportion. Then I'm going to just go through my cross multiply what's on the diagonal, 1 times 11, and divide by what's left over. And I still get 5.5. So my rate is 5.5. But don't forget about your units, minutes per mile. 5.5 minutes per mile. So no matter how I do the problem, I should come up with the same answer. Looking at the second example, Anna can run 12 miles in 1.5 hours at the same rate. So we want to know how far can she run in 60 minutes. So it's a little bit different. We're switching from miles in hours to miles in minutes. So we're going to use a conversion. So I know that 1 hour, is equal to 60 minutes. So 1.5 hours is equal to 90 minutes. And one way to figure that out is with just multiplying. Or you could just write 1 hour is equal to 60 minutes. So 1.5 hours is equal to X minutes. And we're just going to multiply 60 times 1.5 and then divide by 1. And that's equal to X. And when you multiply 60 times 1.5, you get 90 divided by 1. So that's how I get 90 minutes. So Anna can run 12 miles in 90 minutes. And we want to know how far can she run in 60 minutes. So again, it might help to reduce before we go much further. I can divide both of these by, say, 3. And I get 4 miles in 30 minutes. And we're going to solve for X. And from previous work, we can notice the scale factor here of multiply by 2. So 4 times 2 is equal to X, so 8 miles in 60 minutes. That's our final answer. Okay, the next problem that we're going to look at, find 40% of 60. So we can do it with the ratio table. Or we could do it with ratio and proportion. So we know 100% of 60 is 60. So I divide by 10, I get 10% of 60 is 6. And then if I multiply by 4, I get 40% of 60 is 24. So 40% of 60 is 24. I can solve that same problem with a ratio and proportion. Percent over 100 is equal to part over whole. And I'm trying to find 40%, so I don't know what the 40% is, so I don't know the part. But I do know the 60 is the whole. So I'm going to write 40% as 40 per 100. I know the 60 is the whole, and I'm looking for the part. So again, I I recommend that you reduce, divide by 10, and you get 4 over 10 is equal to part over 60. You can cross multiply, or you can use horizontal scale factor, times by 6, so times by 6, so P equals 4 times 6, which is 24. So I still get the same answer. This next problem is similar, but now it says 18 is 15%. So we start with 50% instead of 100%. Oh, 15%, sorry. And where 18 is 15% of what number, so we have to find the whole now. So one way is to get the ratio table percent to be 100. I could take out a common factor. And then times by 20. And so I find out that 18 is 15% of the whole, which is 120. Or I could use ratio and proportion and say percent over 100 is equal to part over whole. And I need to find the whole, but this time I have the part. And the percent is 15, so I write it as 15 over 100. Again, I would simplify if possible. I could divide both of these by 5. It's a 5. So 3 over 20 is equal to 18 over W, and there's a horizontal scale factor. So 3 times 6 is 18. So W is 20 times 6, which is 120. Which is what I got. Let's look at this problem. A little out of focus. See if I can. Better. Miss Crow is buying a jacket that costs $60. She is charged a 7% tax. So she's buying the jacket, costs $60. She needs a 7% tax, and she has to find the total cost that she pays. So I would say that you could do a ratio table. So $60 is the total cost I don't think we need the zeros there right now. And so one way is to just, some kids like to just times by 7, and you get 420, and this is 700, and then divide by 100, and you get 7%. And remember, if you divide by 100, the decimal moves in 2 times. So the tax is $4.20, and you're going to add to the jacket cost, which was $60. So altogether, the total cost that this crow would have to pay is $64.20. You could also do 7 out of 100, or percent out of 100 is equal to tax out of 60, and cross multiply 7 times 60 and divide by 100, and that's 420 divided by 100, which is equal to 4.20 for the tax. Or you could have done 0.07 times 60 is equal to the tax, and just done multiplication, and you get 2 decimal places, so you still get the tax, and then you have to add it to get the total. And then this last problem is a dinner bill problem. So let's see, your dinner bill was $80, and you decide to leave a 15% tip, and you have to pay 7% tax. That should say both. The tax and tip are based off of the 80% bill. So this is kind of level 3. Just because there's multiple steps. So find the tip and find the tax. And then find the total. So I'm going to space this out a little bit. Oops. So to find the tip, you can use any of the methods above that we just used. But I have to say, for me, I really prefer the ratio table when the numbers are simple. So dollars and percent. We know the bill was 80%. So 10% is 8. 5% is 4. So 15%, you can just add 10% and 5%, you get 15%, or you can triple, and you get 12. So what we learned from that is the tip is $12, and then the tax, same idea, but just for variety, we'll well, like, you could also set up a ratio table. Same idea. We already know that 10% is $8. So if I divide by 10, I get 1% is 80 cents. And I need to multiply by 7. And so 7 times 8 is 56, so this is 560. Or you could do 7 over 100 is equal to x over 80, and you get 560 divided by 100. When you divide by 100, the decimal moves in twice. So the tax is $5.60. So the total is the tax plus the tip plus the bill. And when you add that up, $77.60. All right, that's a good range of problems to study for your quiz.